Today, we're going to see how answering the door with a gun in your hand may not be the best home defense plan. Hey, in today's video, we're going to see why answering the door with a gun in your hand is probably not the best home defense plan. If you don't know me yet, my name is Caleb Lee. I am the #1 best-selling author of Concealed Carry 101, and I'm also the founder of Patriot Training Center, where we teach live gun training courses in pistols, rifles, and shotguns, and teach you how to defend yourself and the people that you love. So let's get into today's clip. I'll just let it.
Beat your ass. Do it. Don't knock on my fucking door no more. Dumbass nigga. What the fuck is wrong with you, nigga? I really blow your shit, nigga. The fuck is you talking? Stop. All right. Go. All right. Go. Stop. All right. All right. All right. Put your shit up, nigga. All right. Stop. Yeah, bitch. Stop. Yeah, all right. Roll it out. Roll it out. All right. You bitch ass.
All right, so let's talk about this real quick. To give you some context, I found this on a post from a news source in Georgia, and according to the news source, this was a self-defense shooting in Atlanta, Georgia, and the guy inside the home ended up not being charged, and the guy outside is in jail. And the mom that we saw there when she went outside, she suffered a gunshot wound, but she recovered. You can see her kind of limp back into the house. So. Um, let's talk about what we saw here. Obviously, there's some backstory to this, and the suspect outside the house. There must have been a situation that we didn't see here, and a lot of other evidence that had that man be put in jail. And this is a little more than like a typical home defense type scenario or something like that, because it's more of like a domestic dispute. We saw this guy having an altercation at the door, and obviously there's some verbal arguing here. But a couple things that I want to point out here. I'll just put this on mute because we don't need all the yelling to figure out what's going on. This guy, the guy at the door, the suspect, let's call him the suspect, the guy outside the door, doesn't immediately have a gun in his hand, but we can see here that the homeowner does have a gun in his hand. Right here, you can see he's already got it. He came to the door with the gun in his hand, and then he's talking to him. And now we see the suspect go for his gun. And then at this point, uh, there's still more verbal talk, and then the mom comes out, and it gets worse and escalates from here. So, and she ends up getting shot in the crossfire and limps back in the house. And of course, that's unfortunate for everybody. So let's talk about, is it actually a good idea to go to the door with a gun in your hand? You can go to the door and you don't even have to open the door most times to speak through the door to somebody. Obviously, in this situation, we don't know what happened in the backstory. There's probably a long um, history here, and that's why they're getting into it. But you can absolutely go to the door and not open the door and talk to the people through the door with a gun in your hand, and that would be a smart move. And then you could tell that person, if it seems like a situation where the police need to be called, that you're calling the police, and then you could not expose yourself to a threat like this. If at this point there's, and then even after that point, after the decision to open the door, and then there's a verbal altercation, there's verbal talk happening here, initial things have been said, and especially if it starts to escalate here, this guy's starting to get his gun, that would be a great time to go ahead and just slam the door and then end everything here. All in the idea of any gunfight that we can avoid is a gunfight that we've won. And then even here, after the suspect has drawn his gun and the guy's walking away, this would also be a great time to de-escalate. You could obviously close the door here as the guy is walking away. No need for this to go any further. We don't need our egos to get involved. So one thing that you should think about is, if you have a gun for home defense, if you're carrying a gun for concealed carry, the gun should not change how you act. You should not be having some type of ego about the fact that you have a gun and you're armed and now you can do something about a situation. It's always, always, always better. You're going to win every single gunfight that you do not get into. So anything that you can do to de-escalate a situation, anything that you do to end a situation before it gets to shooting is a win. So that there's multiple times here I see that this could have been de-escalated. The guy could have slammed the door. The guy could have called the cops. And again, we don't really have the whole backstory here. And obviously, this guy, according to the news source that I grabbed this video from, he was not charged, and the guy outside got charged and was sent to jail. So there's probably a whole lot here that we don't see that put in the eyes of the law, this guy was in the right, and then this guy was in the wrong. But just as a thinking point for people to think about, for you to think about at home, for your home defense situation, if you have to answer the door, if you know it's going to turn into some situation like this, you don't have to open the door. You don't have to let things continue to escalate. You can de-escalate things. You can call the cops. You can keep the door closed, and then if somebody takes it to that next level and they start kicking at your door, trying to break down the door, then that becomes an obvious self-defense situation. So let me know your thoughts there. That's my thoughts after looking at this. And another thing I'll point out before we wrap this up, it is a great idea to, whatever your home defense plan is, as we see here, the mother decided to come outside the house. to discuss that with whoever lives with you in the home. So this would be a great situation for him to discuss with his mom beforehand what she's going to do and where she's going to go, and to not go outside the door when there's two people with guns out here and things are obviously escalating and it turns into a gunfight and then she unfortunately got shot. So whatever your home defense plan is, make sure that you discuss that with people in your home and let them know what they should do. And even in the moment, obviously there should be even more talk and communication about what you should be doing. I don't need you to go outside the house right now. This is a bad situation. You need to stay inside the house, and that would keep people from getting hurt. So again, let me know your thoughts down there, and if you thought about go to leave a comment if you thought about your home defense plan and what you're going to do if there's a threat at the door, but you don't have to open the door, and that type of situation. As always, these are things that we focus on and we talk about in our live training courses at Patriot Training Center. We talk about home defense and we talk about concealed carry. That's specifically all that we're about, self-defense with learning how to use your firearm. So we talk about situations like this and ways that you can de-escalate and keep it from getting to that point where you actually have to use your gun, because that's just as important, if not more important, if you're going to own a gun for self-defense. So let me know your thoughts there. And if you'd like to check us out, patriottrainingcenter.com. And you can go down in the description below and check out our 3-second minimum drill standard, where you can benchmark your skills and find out if you, from an objective level, and find out if you have the skills that you need to defend yourself with your handgun. And I will see you in the next video.